Hi, today is May 31st, 2026, and here are the last poems of the month. My poems for the day. The first one is poem number 837, Reserved. The chair sits in the garden surrounded by foliage in silent meditation. The chair is reserved in the sense that it is unobtrusive and partly occluded and ever so quiet and modest and unassuming. It is also reserved in the sense that it has a little plaque affixed to it that has the word reserved on it. Who the chair is reserved for, I would not care to venture a guess, but as surely as I am outgoing and obnoxious, the chair is quiet, polite, and reserved. Poem number 838, My Sexual Inventory. A few days ago I decided that this book, which comes out later today, will be entitled Sexual Inventory. One could argue that in the interest of full disclosure, the book ought to contain some sort of sexual inventory, but one could also argue against such a notion. I think it's sufficient to simply state that yes, I have had sex, and that sometimes I had it when I shouldn't have, and sometimes I didn't have it when I should have. I don't think I have to list out my entire sexual inventory, chapter and verse, although if I did, that would be one hell of a Bible. Poem number 839, Poetic License. I was giving a poetry reading and the cops pulled me over and asked to see my license. And I knew mine was expired, but I pulled it out of my wallet and showed it to them, and they said, "Your license is expired," and I played it off like I didn't know, and maybe they bought it because they let me off with a warning, and first thing next day I'm down at the Department of Poetry Reading and Writing, and the DPRW always takes the shittiest pictures of me, but at least I'm licensed now, and that's a relief. Poem number 840, I stared. I stared at the floors, I stared at the walls, I stared at the ceiling, I stared at the bathtub, then I stared at the walls some more, and all the while I kept on thinking, I wish I had a television. Poem number 841, Invocation. The bornless emerged from, submerged into, and merged with the neither world. The headless walked behind the forward-facing footless. The backward-facing faceless embraced the faceward-facing backless. The bottomless flew, the topless sank, and the sideless sidled on. The naked knitted sweaters, the handless hand-wrote letters, while the built-in forgetters washed away the memories of sins, but not the sins themselves. Let us then venture out and vent our spleens and have adventures and joint ventures and debentures, and when we lose our teeth, let us have dentures. Poem number 842, Bored. He was bored, but because he was so very rarely bored, the fact that he was bored fascinated him. But then, being fascinated, he found that he was no longer bored, and because he was so very often fascinated, the fact that he was fascinated bored him. And the last poem of the day, last poem of the month. Goodbye, May. May, if I may, I'd like to say before I say goodbye that while I may have made it through you, May, it felt more like you made your way through me. That is to say, May, that as your days passed, I never knew what to make of you. I never really discerned the cut of your jib, the stuff of which you are made, beyond your obvious makeup of weeks, days, hours, minutes. I was lost within it while I was in it, and now, nearly out of you, nearly staring June in the face, I feel both out of time and out of place. The result being, I know not what to say, except goodbye, goodbye, mysterious May. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.